You're tuned into the Burrage Sports Show.
The NBA is back.
Yeah.
What an exciting night. The NBA is back, y'all.
Yes.
You're at the Burrage Sports Show. We have a great show tonight because we're going to talk about the NBA. Like us, subscribe, be a part of the podcast. It's on and popping, man. Lakers, Clippers,
Yep.
Jazz, Pelicans. Both games went down to the wire.
Yep.
I'm Mike Burrage, one of your hosts. I'm the dad, and I'm here with
MIKALBUR.
Mike Burr. That's my son. Mike, what's up, man? What you think about the games tonight?
Man, it was definitely exciting to have the NBA back. We got two good games, both close games. They both went down to the wire. You know, yeah. What'd you think? What was your initial reaction?
Well, I love the competitiveness, man. People coming out to play because if you really think about it, seeding doesn't matter. It's kind of like they said. LeBron James said, like, this is the ultimate AAU tournament for grown men, and I think you're right. Seeding doesn't matter. When you in, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're the first seed or the last seed because there's no home court advantage and things like that. So you just have to win to try to get in. And I like the fact that all the teams tonight came out and played hard. They played with purpose, and it's going to be interesting to see, man, who's going to step up and who's going to rise to the top. The cream's going to rise to the top. It was fun tonight.
Yeah, it did. It did kind of feel like an AAU tournament, like not having the crowd and just playing on like the neutral court and all of that. And, you know, obviously they're in the bubble too, so it is that's a good analogy. But yeah, I thought I was surprised by how hard the players were playing.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they would kind of ease into it a little bit, but you could tell they really miss hooping, and they really they came out, they were playing hard, running, you know, trying to keep the tempo up. It kind of felt like a preseason or like early regular season. You could tell everybody was a little rusty. You know, the shooting percentages weren't the best. But we saw a lot of good basketball today.
We did, man. And they started off right. Utah and the Pelicans were going at it.
Yeah.
Pelicans controlled most of the game, but down the stretch, and they do this a lot. And I think because they're a young team, they lose a lot of games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, they just lose focus or they don't finish, whatever the reason is. And Zion didn't really help tonight. I mean, he had, about 15 points in 15 minutes or 13 points in 15 minutes?
13 points in 15 minutes.
But he looked out of shape. All the rumors were that he got cut. He got perfectly in shape.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. And they couldn't use him in the fourth quarter because he was too winded. And the coach, they have a veteran coach. And he's not going to baby Zion.
Yeah.
And Zion's a good dude. We know he's a star player because every time he was on the floor, they played better. He made plays. He scored buckets. But he's going to have to get in shape and trim that body up. But he's a rookie, you know, straight out of college. You know, he only played 1 year college. He has time. But the Pelicans just have to learn how to close down the stretch and give Utah a lot of credit because Donovan Mitchell, you know, in the last, 3 or 4 minutes just took the game over.
Yeah, he really stepped up and showed you why he's an all-star. You know, he showed you why he's a real hooper. And like Zion he's still on a minutes restriction. How much of that is the injury, you know, that kept him out? You know, because he didn't start the season. He started the season late. He only played 20 games, I think.
Right.
So yeah, but how much of that is just he's just out of shape and a bit overweight? Because they definitely could have used him because you could tell down the stretch it's like, are we running through Drew Holiday? Are we giving it to Brandon Ingram? I think Zion, he's the marquee player. He has to be the one to take over the games at the end. And if he's on the bench just watching, you know, it's a reason why they weren't able to close that game out, which they were kind of in control for most of the game. And then you just saw at the end the better team, the more experienced team, just kind of they settled down. And they won that one.
Yeah, that's true. And shout out to our homeboy Mike Conley Jr. You know, he's from the Midwest, Indianapolis, but he's still playing good ball. I mean, he's a veteran, and he looked like a veteran down the stretch.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan Clarkson had a big game. you know, it's good to see Utah. I think they're a competitive team. I don't think they're going to lay down for anybody because you got Go Gadget Gobert in the back. Rudy Gobert, the best defensive player in the league, defending the rim. You got that good 3-guard rotation. Joel Ingle wasn't even on tonight. Jingles is a good player, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, Utah, they're going to be okay. I don't know if they can win it, but they're a good team. They're a good, solid team. They look good tonight, man.
Yeah, they really did. Clarkson was a big standout. Having him at that other guard position, he's a guard that could score. He plays hard on defense. He could get up too. He can get up and put the ball in the basket. So him and Donovan Mitchell really were kind of going back and forth at one point, and they were kind of taking the offensive load. So yeah, they got a good team. They're gonna be tough to beat. You know, they play defense. But one thing is the neutral court, because Utah is one of those teams you don't want to play them at home, you know?
Right.
So the neutral court might be something that hurts them, you know? But yeah, him and Ingram had a good game too.
Yeah.
Ingram is showing you he's gonna be an all-star within, you know.
You talking about Brandon Ingram,
yeah, Brandon
or the Pelicans?
Ingram. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed you he's gonna be an all-star in the next couple of years. He's starting to show you could put the ball in the basket. He's long on defense and you know, but they're just missing that closer. I think Zion has to really, you know, whether it's rehabbing from the injury or just getting in shape, he got to be there at the end of games. You can't have him on the bench.
You can't have him on the bench. You can't have your franchise player, your best player, the number one pick in the draft on the bench down the stretch.
Yeah.
But hey, he's young. We're not judging him. He got time. He'll be okay. Yeah. But he got to get there. Yeah. And I'm a little shocked at Alonzo Ball. I mean, you're a point guard. You were number 2 pick in the draft. He got to play with a little more energy, man. You know, and he has the talent. He has size. Yeah. He can move quickly. He has great court vision. But I want to see that energy, man. I want to see him hyped, fired up, you know, taking control of the game, getting the team hyped. Once again, he just kind of plays too cool for the room, you know, too cool for school.
Yeah.
And I think he has more talent than that. But you got to have the energy as well. I mean, when you watch the Lakers and you watch Utah and the Clippers, they were fired up. They were excited. They were, you know, talking and chirping and high-fiving. He's just out there moving around. Yeah. And maybe that's his personality, but as a point guard and as a guy they're going to need as a young team, I want Lonzo Ball to give me a little more energy and lift the team up a little bit. I think they could have used that down the stretch, man.
Yeah, it's kind of you're like the too cool kind of persona. But when you are a point guard, and you know that is part of the leadership, you got to get the other guys excited, you know. So, like, you even have calm players like Kawhi. You know, he's not an expressive guy, but he's still the way he carries himself, and he's still exciting. You know, he still makes you want to play hard. So I definitely think that's something. It's something he can add to his game, and I think it'll, you know, give him a little bit more respect out there, and you know, make his teammates, you know, excited to play. But we got to talk about the Battle of LA.
Yeah,
we got to talk about what we saw. LeBron down the stretch, he took over the game. He showed you that he's still the best player in the league. With the big, he missed the first shot, but then he got the rebound, put it back in. And then on the last play, he D'd up Kawhi, forced him to pass to Paul George, D'd up Paul George, into the game.
His defense was bananas tonight.
Amazing.
Brian looked like he said, hey, you know, I'm coming back. I'm going to play some defense. His man-to-man defense was bananas tonight.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of times, one of the few knocks on LeBron, because he pretty much does everything, sometimes he kind of Cadillacs a little bit on defense.
Yeah, a little.
We've seen that before because he's expending so much energy doing everything else for the squad that he learned how to take a few, you know, plays off on defense, kind of just lay back a little bit on defense. We didn't see that tonight. Brown was all over the court on defense.
Yeah. He kind of took it back to, you know, those Heat days, those early Cavs days where, you know, he was not only doing it all on offense, but really doing it all on defense. It looked like he went in a time machine. What I liked about it when he had Kawhi, when he had Paul George, he wasn't switching. Even if they set a screen, he would stay on them.
Sure would.
And that sends a message to the team and to the Clippers, like, I'm here. And he was standing in front of them. And somebody else I want to highlight is Kuzma. It was times he was taking Kawhi one-on-one on defense, and he was playing good. That was surprising. A guy that's been known to not be as good of a defender. But he was accepting the challenge. It was a lot of times he was one-on-one with Kawhi, and he held his own.
Yeah, Kuz played he had a different type of confidence. He looked more of a vet tonight, you know.
It's the haircut.
Yeah. He got rid of the blonde hair. Thank you, Kuzma. You know.
I know Kuzma's like the opposite of a Super Saiyan. You know, when their hair turn gold, they get stronger.
Exactly.
when he went back to the black hair, he shot well. He shot a high percentage.
Yeah.
He was knocking down threes. He looked more like comfortable.
Right.
You know, he looked like, you know, like I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm the third option.
And in defense, Kuzma was banged up all year.
That's true.
Now he got time to get healthy. He looked like he kept himself in great shape. He got the haircut. Kuzma looked good tonight. And the Lakers got a lot of players. But y'all know I picked the Clippers to win the West. Sweet Lou, Montrezl Harrell wasn't there. So y'all can't get too hyped, Laker fans.
Yeah.
Because their two key players weren't there. Now, Anthony Davis put in work. He put in work, man.
Yeah, Anthony Davis
Nobody
took
can
over
check
that
Anthony
game.
Davis. But you don't have Lou Williams. You don't have Montrezl Harrell. So we didn't really see the best of the Clippers. And the game still went down to the wire.
Yeah. If anything, I'm more impressed with the Clippers, you know, because the game went down to the last possession without their third and fourth best player on the team, you know. Whereas the Lakers pretty much had everybody. You know, obviously Avery Bradley didn't come, and then Rondo didn't play. But still, you know, Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
That's to have him as your backup, because he could start on most teams.
He can get buckets. He gonna get buckets.
He comes in, instant offense, plays hard on defense, and he's a guy that brings energy and just a veteran. You know, he just makes veteran plays. The Lakers showed you they got depth, but you got to be impressed with the Clippers taking that game down to the wire, and you didn't have Lou and Harrell. That's 40 points off the bench.
Yeah,
so you gotta kind of be like, okay, the Lakers play sloppy, but the Clippers play sloppy as well. But the Clippers definitely were missing more, and they were right in it. So
yeah, I mean, those are two guys that could easily, you know, Montrezl Harrell starts a lot, but he comes off the bench too. Lou definitely comes off the bench. Both of those guys could be sixth man of the year.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how good they both are. So, you know, hey, Lakers got it. You know, I got to give it up. But Clippers Nation, we don't have to worry because we had two of our main horses. They weren't there. But I like Noah too. Joakim Noah surprised me, man. He played good basketball. Yeah. You know, he came out. He was pretty much in shape. You know, he had the Noah feel to him. He had the wild hair. He was boarding. He was pushing the rock. Yeah. Made a few good assists. It was good to see Joakim Noah back out there, man, especially as a Bull fan.
Yeah. He's definitely in good shape, and he did what Noah does. He plays hard, plays defense, made a couple good plays on AD early on, even though nobody could do nothing with AD tonight.
Yeah,
but it was good to see Noah back out there. He's definitely a guy you can bring in, you know, to really, and he could change a game just by making that big play, making that hustle play. So I think he's gonna be he's gonna make some big plays for him down the stretch.
I think he will too, especially when he get his lungs back, because that's right now it's all gonna be lungs, rhythm, getting back into the groove. But I like the fact that they were playing hard.
Yeah,
I think it was very impressive. These first couple of games, that's how you're supposed to start the season. 2 games went down to the wire, and you could see that the games meant something. Because again, they're not jockeying for having a number 1 seed, having a number 2 seed. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a win you're in, and seeding really doesn't matter because, like I say, it's basically a neutral gym. It's the world's biggest AAU tournament. Yeah. So it's really just about building your team up, your pride, getting that momentum. So like I said in our last podcast, it's kind of like running the gym. You know, when you play in the hood, you get your 5, and you if you get a good 5, you can run the gym. You just knocking people off.
Yeah.
Next, who got next? Who got next? And that's the rhythm I see these teams are trying to get.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely a different dynamic with the neutral court. But yeah, so the Clippers, that is something they struggle with though. They have had a lot of injuries, and in this case, it's I think Harrell's on a personal matter. Then Lou Williams, he won some chicken wings, but he left for a personal matter. But then now he has to quarantine as well.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting, like seeing the timing of them coming back. And just staying healthy because they have had a lot of little nicks and knacks. Like I think they only had 11 games with their whole team, but in those 11 games they were like 10-1 or something.
Okay.
So, like I said, they almost won the night without
them, man.
So that the Clippers are real.
It's gonna be fun. And you know what I like? I know I'm kind of switching gears here. I kind of like they had some like the digital automated crowd noise. That was kind of. What do you think about that? Like they had wasn't it like some? What was that?
Yeah, it's like
a crowd.
AI control like crowd noise. So, I'm assuming they just kind of like took recordings of the crowd that they had from previous games, and then they just like use AI to kind of based off of what the players are doing to simulate like, okay, this is when the crowd would normally get louder, that was pretty cool. I think it kind of gave it some type of normal.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because it would have been kind of weird just with the empty gym sound. You just hearing all the bounces.
How the gym shoes be quick.
Yeah,
just hearing that the whole time.
Yeah, so I do like that just to like give it some type of
And I noticed if you really were paying attention for the home team, that AI it would cheer a little louder when home team made bucks. So they tried to give it like whoever was technically in the book as the home team. You could tell it was tilted for them a little bit louder versus the road team. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then it got like some digital people in the background, like and they were like moving. So we watching. This is the new version of NBA 2K. It was like NBA 2K, man, but with real people in the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like we're in like a Black Mirror episode.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It felt like Black Mirror on Netflix.
This is alternate reality basketball.
Yeah, we entered another dimension.
But you know what? I can't front, man. It's good to have some sort of sport back, man.
Yeah, especially the NBA. And another cool thing, they had the names on the jerseys. Like some players opted to have like little phrases and on the back of their jerseys. I just thought that was like cool, just giving them that choice. But yeah, it was just good to be back. And we got to talk about AD. AD, he took over that game.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is a monster, man.
Yeah, inside, outside, and then on defense. Anytime AD gets switched on you, it normally didn't go well for the Clippers. So, rebounds. Another person that stood out was Kuz. Like I said, he got it done on offense and on defense.
Yeah.
And then of course Kawhi did his thing. Paul George did his thing. But you could tell, like when they get Lou,
it's gonna be something, man,
and Harold. They could honestly be co-6 man of the year. If it's ever a case for that,
this
especially
could be it.
Since they're on the same team.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even be mad at that. I don't think anybody would.
I like the Clippers pick up a Reggie Jackson too, man. People forget Reggie got go. Yeah. So how you were saying Deion Waiters, for the Lakers, Reggie Jackson for the Clippers. I mean, these teams got some firepower, man. It's gonna be interesting. But I still don't think it's guaranteed they're going to win it. Like the first year, a few years ago, when the Golden State Warriors got KD, that was it. They were winning it. It wasn't even debatable.
Right.
You knew when they added KD to that squad, hands down, they were going to win a championship. If they stay healthy, they weren't going to lose. I don't think it's like that with the Lakers and the Clippers. I hate to say that. I don't think it's one clear-cut favorite right now.
Yeah. After watching this game, you can't say it is. They both have a lot of horses, and they both can go deep.
Yeah.
When Reggie Jackson is your backup, when Deion Waiters is your backup, when you got the Morris twins, KCP, you got Green on the Clippers.
Yep, you got Green. Yep.
They both can go so deep in their bench with players that could play both sides of the ball and just make a lot of their players can just make plays if they need to. So,
right.
It's a coin toss right now. It could really go either way. It's going to depend on, injuries. Obviously, it's going to depend on just who gets in rhythm faster, whose chemistry is better. But I think you saw LeBron show you. I think LeBron sent a message at the end of the game when he hit that shot and he comes down and then does it on defense too. Stops Kawhi in his tracks and then stops Paul George. I think that was a message. So I don't know, but it could go either way because the Clippers didn't have all their,
Yeah, they have all their dogs. But you know what, man? If you really think about LeBron, and this is why he has a case for, if you want to call LeBron the GOAT, I don't think you're wrong. And I say this all the time. I know most people, the consensus is Michael Jordan, but a lot of people think Kareem. Some people think Wilt. Some people think Russell. But I think Bron is in that conversation because this dude is like in his 17th season, man.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And, man, this guy still runs the floor faster than anybody. He's still playing above the rim. Now he's leading the NBA in assists. Now he's finna add on ball, man-to-man, straight up, no help defense to his repertoire. I mean, we gotta keep it real. I mean, this guy does everything, but not only does he do everything, he does it at such a high level. Yeah. And he's carrying such a big load. Like, Bron does everything but drive the team playing, man. Because the dude pass and he defend.
Yeah.
And he's the leader of the team. And he take the last shot and he run the point. I mean, and now if he had that on-ball defense like that, what hasn't this guy ever done?
Yeah, and then the longevity. Since he came in the league, he's been doing it all. Since his first season, since rookie year, he's been doing it all. And then another credit to him is LeBron probably, still to this day, he probably had more pressure on him coming into the league than any other player. Not even close.
Yeah,
he was the chosen one, the king, when he was in high school.
That's a
and then
point.
To actually come in and live up, probably exceed those expectations.
Yeah.
Still in year 17, you could make an argument he's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Still putting up, you could say Paul George, Kawhi, AD, he's still putting up better numbers than them.
Yeah.
He's older.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he definitely has a strong case.
And I think he's the most criticized super duper star of all time. Like, he's been so polarizing. And to be honest, he never really even did nothing. Like, he never really did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they didn't really criticize Michael like that, or Magic, or Bird, or
I think part of that is social media. We live in, it's a different era. Like, imagine if people could tweet at Jordan back when he was in his prime.
Oh, okay.
It would probably be, we're seeing a lot more, other players, and it's like anybody could criticize you. Some random guy could just be tweeting at you, or So I think it's just different media, a different level of media exposure.
But it is. But also, it seemed like some people don't want to like LeBron. Like, other players, they might not like him for a reason. They didn't play well in this game or whatever. But for some reason with LeBron, some people just don't want to like him. There's nothing LeBron could do. They just don't like LeBron.
Like Skip Bayless.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch him play, we've never seen a player like that. Mm-hmm. And he is definitely in the conversation for the greatest player of all time.
You have to.
And again, if you vote for him, it's not like you're wrong. It's not like you can't prove your case with stats and results and things like that. But for some reason, he's been polarizing. But he showed tonight the king is still on the throne.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did. And even though he kind of let his guys do their thing, he really didn't try to take over until to the very end. And I think that's smart, you know. Why in these regular season games that don't matter for the Lakers? Obviously, they're a lock for the playoffs. So I think that was smart. Letting Kuz get going, letting Waiters, letting Caruso hoop, letting KCP. He let AD kind of take over the game, and then in the fourth quarter he came in. It was like, okay, now it's time. You know, I thought that was smart. And just the way he could fill up the stat sheet, and he brings it every night, you know. And when your best player is also your hardest working player, that's a recipe for success. So.
Yeah. April, what you think about the games tonight? Super producer, give us a little, how you felt?
I just want to say thank you to Lou Williams for going to Magic City to get those wings. As a LeBron fan, I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that you were quarantined because the Clippers looked good. Noah, I knew that was a good pick when it was the first announced a few weeks ago, but seeing it in action and they didn't have two of their top players. As a LeBron fan, I got a little nervous. I'm like, man, the Clippers are looking good. So thank you, Lou. I appreciate that.
Lou, you rich, man. Next time, just pay somebody to go get it and bring it to you, bro.
Get a Postmates.
Do Postmates, brother. We needed you tonight.
No, you gotta, it's all about the food. You gotta get the, you gotta pick it up yourself.
You know what? It is what it is. But man, what an exciting night, man. I'm so happy the NBA is back. And it was just fun to have sports, man. You know, sports is a great way. It's just good escapism, fun to watch, you know, good family fun, good clean fun. And the NBA didn't disappoint, man. And I love the way the NBA didn't shy away from what's going on in the communities. What's going on in the real world. Mm-hmm. You know, they were dealing with the social justice issues, but they did it very tastefully, very respectfully, a lot of love. You know, they had the kids threw down on that national anthem.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Man, the kids threw down on the national anthem. That was before the Laker and Clipper game?
Yeah, the Compton's Kids Club.
Yeah, and I like the way they did, and it was peaceful. It was beautiful. Everybody, you know, just expressed themselves in a great way. LeBron gave a great interview after the game and just said, hey, this is bigger than just basketball. You know, we want to make an impact. We want to spread love. He used the word love. Mm-hmm. So, you know, don't try to turn this into something negative. It was no negatives, no finger pointing. It was just about making our society better. And I love the fact that the NBA didn't shy away from that. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was dope. And I like the names on the back of the shirts, man. That was really clever.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, man. That was the NBA is back. Woo! We had a good time, man. But yeah. So man, I know you guys watching had a good time. And check us out, man. Just spread the podcast. We got a lot more coming. It's gonna be a good NBA season. Yes. You know, hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you think. Give us your commentary on the games. I know you're happy too that the NBA is back. Yeah. So April, you got anything else?
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Lou.
Shout out to Lou Williams.
That hurt. Clippers, I'm still rolling with you. I ain't giving up on my dogs. We got the East Coast. We got the Eastern Conference tomorrow, though, y'all. Yes.
Nice.
So this is the West Coast threw down tonight to start it, but our next podcast, we're going to be talking about the East because the East is getting it on tomorrow. What you got, Mike?
Yeah, excited to have the NBA back. Shout out to Sixth Man of the Year, Lou Will. And, shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to Brian AD. They really hooped tonight. Shout out to Ingram, Donovan Mitchell, Clarkson. There's a lot of people hooping. A lot of people. And shout out to Kuz, too. I was really impressed by the defense, especially. Yeah. But it was a lot of good basketball tonight.
A lot of fun, y'all. I'm glad the NBA is back. They did a good job dealing with the social justice issues, a good job being responsible for COVID. And this is the Burrage Podcast. Subscribe, hit the like button. Check us out on our next one. And as always, Mike Burr, drop the beat.